Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about mainly Stacey and her lupus because it's going to help other people that have lupus. If you have an autoimmune disorder, we've been through the ringer on it. I was losing my wife, she was my person, and you were down for a year.
Yeah, just health, just what it takes to be healthy.
And we were able to get her back without any medication. So if you know somebody that has this disorder, you might share this video with them because it did work. It worked. No medication, 100%.
Yeah, and I just went to the doctor today, 5 years in a row. You guys know that if you have any kind of autoimmune, it does affect your thyroid, and so it affected mine, and I ended up with a few nodules, but I'm very thankful. I only have 2. They have not grown in 5 years, and I'm still doing good, and I got the good news today, so I was pretty happy.
That's awesome.
Because you do not want your thyroid taken out if all possible, even men and women. Men don't think that they have an issue with thyroids, but you also can. I actually know someone personally right now, a man, he's actually having to take a thyroid pill. So anyway, how do you want to start?
We can get into everything here, its symptoms and some tricks, but first, before anybody clicks off the video, I really want you to try to think about foods you can eat that you can recognize. Just kind of leave you with that, and I don't want to go, but that's really pretty much what we do. I was trying to sum it up. And that's pretty much what we do.
Somebody's made a comment on that. Who said that? You said...
it was a man that was 100. He was over 100 years old and he was running marathons. And he said, I don't eat any food that I can't recognize. And I was like, well, that's what we do too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's going to require a better diet, more than likely. 100% for sure it's going to require a better diet.
But you can find ways. Chris he's like my chef. And he will take something and find it and make it where it could be so bland and make it so amazing, and it's so healthy and it's so good for you. He just cooks.
Well, anybody can cook with a bunch of butter, and I just take the foods that we need.
Yep.
And I find real creative ways to eat them. Without
you
a
need
bunch
to do
of...
more recipes. Actually.
I'll do another one. If you want another recipe, let me know. Put it in the comments. #recipe, and I'll try to come up with one. High protein, filling, and good that everybody. My dad's over here all the time. He loves them. Yep. He loves what we eat, and he says that he leaves in better shape. If he works with me for a week, he gets down to his ideal weight. That's what he told me.
Well, we work him to death, but anyway, I just want to talk about maybe some symptoms right now, because I did not realize the symptoms, and we've told this story before. But some of you guys are calling me, and you're like, would you tell me what happened? So here's some symptoms, because at first I thought I was just tired. I had loss of appetite. I had loss of hair. And let me tell you, when I had loss of hair, I literally would get in the shower and I would have clumps coming out. And it was bad. And matter of fact, I'm not the only person. I've talked to so many of you guys since then that have lupus, and you lose your hair. And I will tell you this, when your hair falls out and it comes back, it may come back different. Mine used to be straight as a board. And now if I don't straighten it, it's curly as I'll get out. Weight loss. Weight loss was for me until they put me on prednisone. And then I started puffing up. I saw a photo of me after they put me on prednisone. Remember that photo with your family? Mm-hmm. And I looked like somebody stuck something
like
in me.
Puffy sick person,
It was horrible.
I see them walking around all the time.
It was horrible.
I want to help them.
Then I started having butterfly rashes. This side never broke out too bad, but this one would get really, really bad and it'd break out bright red. It never blistered, but a lot of you guys, I've seen you guys in stores, and you have this big old blister right here. Mine left a tiny scar, but not bad. I'm very thankful. That was some of the symptoms. Blood pressure. Oh my goodness. Check your blood pressure. My bottom level for the longest was so high. I was stroke level on so many times. They talked about putting me on blood pressure medicine. I was like, no, let me see if I can get under control on my own. It's another key. Salt. Don't cook with salt. Put it on your food. We'll talk about it later. I kept feeling so tired.
Why not cook with salt?
Because you put it on later. You cook with salt, and it just doesn't seem...
Well, that's what I think, but I didn't know what you thought.
Well, it just seems to... I don't know if it actually you even get the proper salt nutrition. I don't know. I just know you taste it better. It makes the food taste better. I know the amount of salt I'm getting. I can control it. I can tell when my body needs more, and when I'm like, okay, I've had enough. And your body needs salt.
Mine needs a lot of salt. We eat a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Go through the book, The Salt Fix.
And we use Redmond salt.
Man, yeah, Redmond's real salt, made in the USA. I'm supposed to have an affiliate link, but I don't know where it's at. Just get the salt. It's good stuff.
We're still using that stuff. Walt that sent us to us.
Yeah,
I got your name right. But I kept feeling so tired and foggy-headed. Let me just tell you guys, I kept telling Chris, I cannot get oxygen to my brain. I cannot, it was a creepy, weird feeling. I would have chest pressure. That was, and you guys actually, a man just called in the other day and he said, my wife has lupus and she keeps having chest pressure. And I said, ask her to see if it's her heart connectivity tissue. That's what it did for mine. I was actually on a stress test when they saw it happen. Your nails will stop growing. You'll be like I said, blood pressure. You possibly will get dry eyes. I mean, we can go on and on. It's
I
a
rushed her to
leaky.
the hospital one time, thought she was having a heart attack.
Well, we didn't know, and I couldn't see. I couldn't literally.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. When you don't know, you got to do the right,
And all this
the next
comes
step.
from inflammation and leaky gut. All of this comes from inflammation. And if you're not willing to get the inflammation down, what they want to throw at you, as we've talked about that, is prednisone. Then they
Pills.
wanted to put me on transplant meds, and then they wanted to put me on this. And
Unbelievable.
so let's talk about some solutions, because we can talk about problems all day long.
Yeah, so we just eat food,
Yes.
like real food.
Yes.
And I cook every day.
Yes, he does.
That's
I don't cook as much anymore.
And that's a real hard for some people. It's real hard because they're used to eating out. But I'm telling you guys, you don't know what's in your food. And there's could be one thing. You could be drinking a Coke, and that be the thing that's making you fall apart because it made her fall apart. I know this because I watched her go through it. I researched it, found out that high fructose corn syrup was the devil.
It is.
And it's making everybody sick. It's illegal in Europe. So we cut that out. You got better. And then
Even your ketchup, you guys. You can buy ketchup without that in there. Go read the ingredients.
she's not saying that because it might happen. If she eats that ketchup, she will get sick.
So here's the cool thing is, and we talked about this the other day, I've got my body so good right now, I'm so thankful that if I was to eat a smidge of that, I'm not going to flare up. But if I was to continually do it again, now there's some things, yes, it's an immediate response. But if I was just to eat a dab of ketchup or whatever.
Yeah, you can get away with a little bit, but it is a compounding effect.
It is. But you guys, I eat red meat. I eat red meat pretty much
Bacon.
daily. Bacon. I eat jerky.
Hamburger, yeah. We eat good. We eat good food.
Yep.
We just had to cut out the junky food and most of you, a lot of people, are eating food that they don't even know is poisonous. And it's got these seed oils that are already rancid. That was her main thing.
That was a big thing.
That was the main, like Chick-fil-A will put her in a hurt locker for 24 hours, sick as you've seen anybody. Just overeating Chick-fil-A. It's like, who would have thought that,
It's interesting, though, since I mentioned that, several of you guys have called me, and his mother-in-law said the same, or his mom said the same thing, my mother-in-law, that Chick-fil-A doesn't sit well with her. There's something in there, either ingredients,
A lot of
oil.
people call it Kim-filet. It's rancid oil. It's cooked in rancid oil. That's
But
what it is.
real quick, go back to the hamburger. We actually have a cow, so I know what that cow is fed. So I did find out talking to somebody, because I couldn't figure out why hamburger was always making me sick. And from what I can gather, it's some kind of processed chemical, something they put in there to make it look fresh,
Formaldehyde.
red. There's something in there that my
They used
body
to put
does not
formaldehyde.
like.
I don't know if they do anymore. But that was what she would do. She would sit on the couch and she would have a cracker when you were sick. Because when you're sick, she was just eating sick food, like ham on a cracker and a Sprite. Well, that
Why
was
is
making
it when you feel sick, you want a Sprite? You do. I did.
It's crazy. And that was making her sick the next day. And this went on for a year.
Oh, yeah, more than
She
that.
was sleeping for 16 and 18 hours a day.
It was horrible. I
And
ran a
it was
fever.
like a year of our life that was just, oh no, my wife's dying. It was bad. But it was actually a blessing. It's crazy how God turns things around because we're able to completely fix it. And now we know exactly what it is, and we can tell you exactly the things that cause her flare-ups, because a lot of these are the same. Most everybody I know that has lupus, that has it under control, which isn't very many people because they just can't quit putting things in their mouth, is the same items.
Yep. But I don't eat lots of dairy. I do eat eggs. I do eat some cheese. I eat very little milk. When I do, I try to get the grass-fed whole milk. I do not do the fat-free.
Have you had milk make you flare up?
Not that I know of, but I don't drink a lot of it. I'll have
I'm gonna
maybe
go
a
ahead and
little
say
bit in
you
my
can have it.
coffee. Then sometimes I'll have a glass if I have like a piece of toast or something. I don't eat a lot of bread. I do eat rice and pasta. Lots of veggies. I eat chicken. Don't eat fried chicken. Just eat, a regular bake or stir-fried chicken.
We can eat it if I fry it.
Well, you can actually.
You
I
can
have
eat
eaten
fried.
it.
Yeah, you just got to fry it yourself.
That's right. I did. I fried some the other
I
day.
used to fry fish in fresh peanut oil, and you didn't have a problem with it.
That's true. We haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, so it's a narrow, you really have to figure it out because you see people like you that has full-blown lupus that's beating it, and she's eating fried fish, fried chicken, bacon, everything that people say not to eat, you know?
Yes, that's true. I ate tons of veggies. Another thing I want to head on. Oh, and I ate fruits. It has sugar in it, but I
Sugar's not a problem.
Blueberries. Oh, I love blueberries and different things like that. I'll touch on another thing real quick. That can you think of any other foods?
Nuts.
Peanuts messed me up.
Okay. Almonds messed her up one time
Anything in oil.
because they were soaked in rancid oils and then cooked, the real crispy ones. And she just thought she was eating almonds. That's the thing, is you never know exactly what it is, you know, until you get it pinned down. But that was the cereals that the almonds were cooked in. And the other thing was peanuts. I brought some spicy peanuts home from Tractor Supply or somewhere, and they were real good. But whatever they had on them, and it could be the peanuts were real old, the rancid peanut oil in the peanut. I'm not sure.
It took about 3 days for it to hit me, though, and we couldn't figure it out.
We were snacking on, put them in a big bowl, snacking on walking by, and it eventually hit her, and she's like, well, it couldn't be the peanuts because I've been eating them all, half the week.
Yeah. But that was the only thing I had done different.
As soon as she cut them out, she was back to 100%. And there's so many people doing one or two things, and they're on all these meds, and this is a real thing. The people that you are in the group with on Facebook, a lot of them are dying. A lot of them are dead, and some of them are still dying slowly. So try to get this under control and start an elimination diet. Write down everything you eat, and as hard as that is to do, it's worth it. Just get your life back,
Well, when you reach that point of that inflammation, you hurt so bad, you want to cry. Like, I see why people take those pain meds, because I hurt so bad that one night, my eyelids even hurt. I didn't even want him to touch me. That's how bad I hurt. I'll never forget that night. And so in that group that I was in, I actually had to get out because it was just depressing. People were passed away. Parents would get on there and tell their family member had passed. Some people even committed suicide. They got addicted to a lot of the pain pills, which they hurt so bad. But that's when I'll never forget. That was the night, the turning point, I think, for us, when I was laying there and my eyelids hurt, and he and I both were like, okay, something has to give. And that's when we'd started keeping a notebook, and that's when we realized I'd ran a low-grade fever for about approximately a year. And that takes a toll on your body. I was losing weight rapidly. Like I said, the hair coming out. But I also figured out face care. This could be for men and for women. I had to start going through and actually, I would put something on and I could immediately tell, I say immediately, within about a few minutes, and it would start to burn my face, and I was like, so I'd have to start throwing it out. And I went through several different products, and I think that's what helps me. It might not work for you, that particular product, but that was something else. And a shampoo, there were certain shampoos that would make my scalp just burn. And even if you get your hair done, it's little things you always have to think about. And it gets really old some days, but what else do you want to
there's
add
no
to
downside. Well, I do want to say that we're not physicians, not a doctor, not your mom, none of that.
Not health advisors.
No, but I feel like we need to fill you in on what's worked for her, because I think it'll work for a lot of people. And some people have it so bad. Jordan Peterson's daughter had it so bad that she had to do an all-meat diet.
Yes.
She had to cut out the vegetables. It's so bad for her.
Yeah. She had to have surgeries.
She had to have her ankles replaced at a young age. I mean, it attacks joints, and it's strange how it kind of picks and chooses on what it wants to attack. So what we're talking about might not work for you, but the end result is probably going to be you in better shape, with lower cholesterol, with less blood pressure, because you're eating real food when I sit down to eat, I'm eating a couple potatoes and, a chicken breast or possibly a steak. I mean, we're eating real food. Yep. And I'm eating in a caloric deficit a little bit. But guys, I just wanted to.
No, one of my favorite breakfasts for the weekends is, I guess, I'm like steak and eggs. And that's what I eat. That's I don't feel cheated. Now there's a few things that I will every now and cheat on that I'd really like to have, but I don't feel cheated. But you have really helped me, the way that you've stepped up and learned to cook and make recipes. He's a much better cook than I am.
And you men, if you want to help your wife and she's sick, cook for her. I'm serious. She'll love you for it. Yep. She'll, you went out of your way to cook something special for her. And now she feels better all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, hey, this works.
Yeah,
and if you need any help, let me know.
Well, it means a lot that you were on board with me, that you didn't fight me, that you cooked one way and I was left having to cook another way. So,
Yeah, a lot of women deal with that. They have to cook something special for the husband, and then or for her, and then the kids and the husband eat other things that they probably shouldn't. But that's a really important part of prepping. If you don't feel good, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to survive the Thunderdome if you don't feel like doing it. If you don't feel like getting up and doing all those things, you're not going to.
Yep.
So try to get in the best shape possible for what's coming. That's a really good prep to have as your health.
And your mind will feel so much clearer. Like, I can't tell you how foggy-headed I felt. Like, I couldn't function. Like, I would try to do something, and I would have to do it 2 or 3 times to make sure that I got it correctly. I would be driving somewhere, and it would get so foggy-headed, I would literally have to pull over. There was 1 or 2 times that you actually came and got me because it scared me. I would get so, there's such clearness whenever you eat healthier and you don't have that inflammation in your body. I cannot even explain it. And you guys that have been there, you know what I'm talking about. But.
Yeah. And there's also some people that are going to watch this video. Several thousand people will watch this. And hit the like button if you do. There's going to be some guys on here and women that their husband didn't really clue in. They just think, "No, you're always sick. You know, come on, let's go, get up. Let's you know." and if you're like that, then you would be just like me. And I still feel bad about that because I didn't know.
We didn't know.
I didn't know. I just knew she was sleeping a lot. It's like, come on, we got life to live. Let's go.
Well, I think the thing is I went from being super active. I mean, I was a runner. I was super active going. We had businesses, and all of a sudden I went to the bed.
And it just jumped on her, too. It was just
when I hit 40. It did. And I talked to a doctor, and he said, now you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, but this is what he told me, my autoimmune doctor. He said, you either have it or you don't. And he said it usually triggers in women around 40 years old. And he said that's when and it hit me. I was between 40 and 41, and he had hit me full blast.
And what it probably is, more than likely, is a lifetime of eating these things that wears your gut out, and your body can deal with it for a while, and some people's bodies break sooner than others. That's kind of what I think it is. It seems like it's a cumulative thing. And, you know, you can reverse that, and I'm telling you the truth, with diet. Most people. Some people may not, but most people can do that.
My doctor was surprised today. This was a brand new doctor. I'd never seen him before, and I had to go get my results for the thyroid because the other one, my current one, she was busy. And he was like, "You're not on any meds?" I was like, "Nope, haven't been on any meds, in 5 years? I think that's about right."
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. And he goes, "Okay." And I told him what I did, and he goes, "Okay." He goes, "And your nodules haven't grown?" I was like, "Thank you, dear God." Because that's one of the things inflammation does, as I mentioned earlier. So you guys take it. My nodules were growing during that whole process. I was up to 4, I think, at one point, and they actually went away. And she said that very, very seldom happens. Very seldom happens. And it was due to inflammation. All right.
And guys, all we did was eat real food. That's what I know there's a lot of people saying, well, you didn't tell us exactly what to do. This is exactly what to do. Eat single ingredient foods. You can start with single ingredient foods, and then you can put them together yourself. But then you'll know what's in your food, and you can eliminate from there. If you'll start doing that, that's what we do. That's what works.
Yep. Grill a hamburger. Have a potato.
Yeah.
Have a piece of broccoli next to it. I eat whatever I want. Corn. Broccoli. I don't eat corn a whole lot, actually. No, I don't eat corn.
Yeah, but
carrots.
It doesn't make you sick. There's a lot of foods that doesn't make you sick. There was just a few that was. So, guys, have an awesome day. If you got any questions about lupus, ask Stacey. She'll be in the comments. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Later.